Hi, everyone. This is EstaRa with a message for you. Today is Sunday, April 1st, 2018. And I'm going to do a little brief message. As you can tell, I still have a little bronchitis. Um, I have to apologize. I wanted to get back to you sooner. I had some computer things the last couple of days trying to record this video. I actually recorded one. It didn't save it. I mean, it saved it, but there was no voice. So that's been a mess, of course. Um, but I also have had vertigo and it's been pretty bad. I mean, I have these moments where it's really horrible and these moments where it's fine. So I've been doing a lot of resting. So I'm not quite back to my normal routine yet. And I thank you for bearing with me. Those of you who are still following me, I hope you are still following me. But I wanted to give you a quick heads up about this weekend. It's been really trying energy this past week. So the week, I would say the last 5 days, it's been really intense energy. So I've been going through lots of physical stuff. Like I'm still, I still have a little bronchitis, and I have the vertigo, which was crazy. And I realized it was an inner ear infection because once I put the cotton balls in my ears, it got a little better. And then it's still not great because I can feel the earache where I didn't feel earaches before. But anyway, that's enough of my health stuff. So what I want to talk more about is what's happening with all of us. And I want to say I am totally in this with all of you. It has been really difficult. I don't know what you're feeling, but in the last week, it's great though. Okay, so it's great and it's not great. Um, so the divine feminine energy that's here is I feel this massive amount of empowerment and like clarity about what we want, but also no longer taking any more bullshit. So all that stuff that's crap that doesn't need to be here is going, it's gone. And we're kind of in this space. It depends on where you are, obviously, on the ascension ladder. Those of us who've been doing this work for a while, those of us who've been in alignment with our soul and really focusing on what we need for ourselves, even if it didn't always match what externally mattered. Um, since the equinox, a lot of energy has come through. And I feel this conflict internally for me. And so in the past, like, many of us as twin flames, we tend to accept crumbs, cookie crumbs, if you will. That's what I call them when our twin, has been distant or has pulled away or has run the other way because their fears are coming up. And then, we're like, oh, I just want to hear his voice, that's enough. Or I want to hear her, I want to see an email from her or something. So we've done that, right? And then we get it and we're like, okay, that's good. But it's not good anymore. And that's what's been coming up, at least for me, over the past several days. And my guides, I asked them what was going on because I feel like I'm in rebellion. And they said, my dear, it's not just your rebellion. It's your beloveds as well. But let's talk about divine feminine first, and then we'll talk about divine masculine. So what they said to me is that the divine feminine is in her power. She is standing strong and she's having awareness. And it's creating a little bit of a conflict because we're beginning to embody all of those things that we've been changing, all of those things that we've been bringing in and manifesting from our previous lifetimes on this planet. So all the wisdom, all the knowledge, not only from this planet, but from other planets, other galactic systems that we've lived in. All the memories, if you will, are coming in and being activated within our DNA. So it's actually very cool and very amazing, but at the same time, it's really kind of a struggle internally because we can't keep going the way we've been going. Like there's a lot of stopping us in our tracks purposefully so that we look at things a little differently. And overall, I have to say my journey's been really great, but with regard to the twin flame piece this past week, it's been really intense and lots of waves of emotions, but I'm not getting stuck in them. It's weird. They come through me. I recognize it's not necessarily mine, and then I'm able to move through it. And I have moments where I feel like really like empty, like an empty vessel. And typically when we think of being empty, we get really sad and feel lonely. And and I'm not saying that's not even truth because that is truth for some part. I live alone. I'm by myself. And the holidays are here again, and I'm used to traditional, like, spend time together with your loved ones. But I want to be with my loved one, which is my twin. And it's weird because it's like that emptiness. I think we need to look at it differently. We're not this empty alone being. We're this empty vessel waiting to receive, or actually once once we do recognize we're in this empty vessel, we're allowing all this light and love to be poured into us so we could become this magnificent being that we are, and we can embody everything that we've wanted to embody, even if we've been resisting and afraid of it. So that's the first piece of what I want to talk about in terms of the divine feminine. Now it's the divine masculine. All week I've been feeling this rebellion, very frustrating. Even for myself, with regard to not wanting to do something, I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is ridiculous. Blah blah blah. And I realized, oh my God, this isn't me. This isn't totally me. This is my beloved rebelling in his life. He has so much sadness going on. He has so much emotional pain. And the last several times that I spoke to him in the last couple weeks, he's really depressed, and I hear it. And it's funny, I just saw his birthday on the timer. Um, I hear it in his voice and I feel it. And honestly, I don't like how it feels. It just feels so heavy and dense. And I'm so sad that he's going through this. But the the recognition that I had was, I'm so tired of him choosing the wrong thing. And why does he keep choosing, like, to stay? Why is he choosing to stay unhappy in that life rather than choosing not necessarily me, but choosing him? Because when he chooses him, he chooses me. But the key is him choosing himself and choosing love and light for himself. And so the divine masculine is literally in their dark night of the soul. And we want to say dark night of the soul is like a day. It's not. It could take for however long it needs to take for them to get through that part of it. The beauty of it is we're in an energy time where things move through us much quicker than they used to. So when I started the dark night of my soul, I don't know, I could have been in it for a few years. I don't even recall, to be honest, because it seems so far away and so long ago. It's been quite a long time. But when we talk about it now, it's definitely faster, because I look at my clients and those who go through the dark night of the soul, I see them shifting rapidly. Like, it's happening quickly. It might not seem quickly as they're going through it. So all of you beautiful beings that are my clients, if you're like, oh yeah, that doesn't happen, are you kidding me? It's so slow. It's not. It is for you while you're in it, but it's actually moving much quicker than you think, because in the past it was so slow, and we weren't embodying it fully. That's a piece of it. The other thing that's coming is the divine masculine is so has been so enmeshed in traditional world. As the rest of societal systems start to fall apart, their framework is falling apart, so they don't even know where they go or what to do. And quite honestly, I think about how my beloved needs to jump from where he is to the next place. And I say jump because the reality is, it's not like you can just simply shift one thing and it's going to all fall into place. Literally, he has to be able to overcome what he's been programmed to believe for so long. And while I think it's frustrating and annoying, this past week, he's rebelling. And rebelling is, it feels yucky for him. If he feels sad, and I can feel it. I hear it in his voice when I talk to him. And when he's reaching out to me, I actually feel it. And it's almost it's almost painful in a way for me. It's like a deterrent, because I don't want to talk to him when he's in this ick. And it's not like he's like, oh, I'm so miserable, life sucks. He doesn't tell me any of that stuff. He doesn't have to, because we're twins. So I feel everything. We could talk and he'll say I'm fine, which I know fine for him is totally not the truth. Like, when he says fine, that means things are okay. When he says things are okay, they're pretty bad. When he says they're not good, it's really bad. So I know that things are not okay, and I've asked him how he is lately, and he says okay, which means they're bad. And that means he's in it, but he's not. He's always been saved from going deep into the dark, if you will, the dark emotions of his soul, because what happened is I'm here and I'm doing this beautiful light work on me, which works on him, because whatever we do on ourselves goes to our beloved. But also, I've been very cognizant of protecting us and loving us and holding that vision for us. And it's made it safer for him. And so I've struggled this week to maintain that vision. And I don't know about any of you. I don't know if you're having trouble. I am totally having trouble keeping that faith and vision. And it's funny, the last 3 days, I think I have been, I don't know the word I would use, less strong in my belief about us in the last 2 days building up to the full moon. And today I actually feel much more confident in us. But I had little confidence in our union. Not in him. I know he's my twin. I have no doubt about that. I love him completely. But the doubt that he will do what he needs to do, that he will make the choice for himself. And it's funny, because there's moments that I hear in his voice, my beautiful man's voice, he says to me things, and I hear him. It's like his spoken word happens, but beyond that, I hear, I'm choosing me for a change. And he knows that when he chooses himself, he sees me. That's what happens. When he chooses himself, he like lets go of his daily responsibilities of work and life, and he makes the choice to listen, to be there. to what he needs. And when he does that, he's happier. He knows this. It's so funny, and it drives me, and that's what drives me crazy because I've known him forever. It feels like, and yet he did. Well, obviously I have known him forever, but he doesn't get that. Like, okay, all you need to do is make that choice, and every day you make that choice. Every moment of every day you make that choice. Every moment you're confronted with something, you make that choice. Same for us. Divine Feminine, we have to do this. If you're like me or you're in the energies like I've been in the last week, it's been really hard to maintain the focus and the faith in the twin flame journey. And there's a lot of energies out there that do not want twin flames to come together and really, really are. There's some actual people who claim to channel certain twin flame energies and say how, oh, you're free, you don't have to be with a twin flame. There's people who are saying there's 7 twin flames, which, by the way, in and of itself is like ridiculous. Twin is 2. So having 7 twin flames, that just doesn't make any logical sense. So there's a lot of false information out there. Please be aware of that. I don't talk about that a lot, but there is a lot of false prophets, if you will. Not just for twin flame journey, it's also for this whole like ascension journey. There's a lot of people who very much are in their ego. They have been, or they've already gotten there, or they've come, or they've been really open and then they come back to ego. Please be aware of that. You want a teacher or someone to follow that is like in the dirty nitty gritty of their soul too, their truth, because that is authenticity. I'm sorry, every once in a while I get this cough that just comes up from a deep breath, and I took one. And I ramble a lot, so I have to get those breaths in. But there's like this inauthenticity that is rippling through our planet. And really, it's very easy to see when someone is not truly in their authenticity and when they're providing false information. But I say it's easy, but you have to be in your truth. You have to be in your divine alignment. You have to be balanced every day so that you are operating from your heart center. If you are operating from your heart center, there's absolutely nothing that can be pulled over your eyes. However, when you're in fear, that's not heart center. Okay, so I'm guilty of that too, because this week has been really rough for me, like not even emotional. It's just been more in a mental way. Like, well, it's funny. We're in Mercury retrograde, very mental energy, and my twin is he's ruled by Mercury for his planet, for astrological stuff for him. Mercury is so in your head, and so like my thoughts are playing like messy tricks on my head in a lot of ways of like, yep, you're right, he's not here, so I should be done. And of course I have people in my life that just back that up, and rather than say, no, listen, hold on to what you know to be truth, they don't say that because their own life has been tainted by their fears, and so they project those upon us, and it's not on purpose. Again, people love us and they don't want to hurt us necessarily, and yes, there are some out there that have ill intentions, but the truth is the majority of beings out here don't have ill intentions. But there are false prophets. Please be conscious of that and be aware, because you don't want to allow yourself to get pulled down that path. Please come into your heart always. The one thing I can tell you with my entire life, I rebel against, I haven't rebelled against very much. Like I'm totally in alignment with spirit, and I do my like routine every day. And there are times when I really don't want to do my routine because it's a nightmare. What I mean by that, it's like a 3-hour process in the morning and a couple hours at bedtime. And it's a lot because it takes up a huge chunk of time, especially if I'm not sleeping and I have to like, get up and I have to get up early and get out of the house early. And I'm like, no, I just want to sleep in because I didn't sleep for 3 hours last night. When I rebel against it, I have to always make time somewhere along my day to bring myself back into center. Because if I don't, I won't be balanced and I won't be pure channel. And that's a huge deal too. So I want you to know that's important. One more thing I want to share before I go. So last evening, I did not sleep again. It was one of those crazy nights. I fell asleep right away. I was so tired at like 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Woke up at 12:30 and was wide awake till 4:30 this morning. So about 2:30 or so, I went outside. I was just called to go outside. And of course, it's cloudy here, so there was no real stars to gaze at. But going outside, I have to tell you, was so amazing. And when I was out there, my guide said to me, this moon, and I just let the moon energy come over me. Even though I couldn't fully see it because it was cloudy, I could feel the essence of the moon. And I got a very clear message that it is a reset, and that it is so imperative that we get out into the sun every day, right? If there's sunshine, get outside. But it's also imperative to get outside in the moonlight and let yourself absorb the energy of the moon, because that light is just penetrating every cell in your being and helping to reset you. This particular full moon is a reset energy. That's why fears and crap are being kicked up. That's why my whole week has been kind of crazy in terms of doubting my mental stuff. So what's interesting is my guys, as I'm talking to you, my guys are kind of showing me stuff and talking. It's like I was doing mental flip flops, like back and forth. But that's not just me. That means my twin is as well, which means he's like, no, I can stay here. I can do this. I can fight through. No, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. It's like his mental flip flops are reverberating into my reality, which is allowing me to like have those same mental flip flops. But it's forcing me, the more awakened being in our relationship, the more divine feminine in the relationship, making me look at what it is I really want and to be strong, empowered, but in a very balanced way, not in the like, give me a cookie crumb and I'm fine. It's more about this is what I want and this is what I need and this is where I want to be. And I'm not going to alter that simply because you're afraid to do the work. I, it's funny, I think about that because I do get frustrated with my twin. In the last week, I've gotten more frustrated with him, I think, than I've gotten, if ever. You know, I'm always very understanding, always unconditionally loving to him. But this week it's been really hard, which tells me it's been really, really hard for him to stay in his truth and what he needs for him. So it's made it like doubly difficult for me because I keep wanting to. I don't want to save him anymore. Like, and then the thing is, I'm not supposed to save him. We're not supposed to save our twins. We're supposed to help our twins and allow them to come to us whole and complete, just as we're going to them whole and complete as much as we can be whole and complete without our other half. Um, a lot of times journey, our journey focus would be on a twin, and I have to say, in the last year, my focus has been more and more on me, and particularly since January, it's been more and more on me. Well, I've been sick, so that kind of forced me to be there, but I don't think that's by accident. Like, while I do think it was a little sinister, some of the energies with the flu. Um, I do think that there's a piece of it that I was being removed so that I would stay focused more on me. Because the more I'm focused on me, the more I manifest what it is I need and want, which means ultimately my twin is going to be awakened to the thought of what does he need and want. And so I hope that, you know, some of this information helps you. I know that I'm kind of like all over the place and rambling, but there's so much information that's been happening and I feel bad because I've been trying to record and I haven't been feeling 100% to do a video. And yeah, so I just want to throw whatever I can out there. I want to let you know what's coming up. So in a couple weeks, on the 15th of April, is a Twin Flame meditation, group meditation. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that's what I'm putting it out there for. It will be, it might not be in the link below because I'm not sure if I have the schedule out yet. But what I would ask you to do is if you want to be on my mailing list, please email me directly, april@soulstarhealing.com. I am having, like, I really am very upset about something. I need a website designer, but I don't have any money because I didn't work for a whole month. And I have been only working part-time up until then. And that's because I haven't felt well. And I don't know what to do. So like the person who worked on it last year, the last time it was updated was in February of last year. So that's like a year later, over a year later, and I still don't have somebody who can consistently help me or even help me to get it organized in a way that would be more accessible to everybody. Because I have a lot of information, a lot of meditations that are available for twin flames to really use. But if you don't know they're there, you don't know you can get some help that way because they're really helpful. So that's why my website's kind of icky. So please email me at april@soulstarhealing.com. That link will definitely be in here. And it's funny, I asked for help with like two different people who said, "Oh yeah, I got it." Months would go by and they did nothing. Another person, months go by and they did nothing. So I'm like just so frustrated with technology, and I don't have the physical capacity to actually work on my website and work with my clients because my clients come first to me and I want to be in that alignment. So it's those little pet peeve things are coming up and driving me completely batty and insane. So I ask you to bear with me with the website stuff. And if anybody knows anybody who wants to fix a website and has the capacity to do so, I would be open to that if they're open for a barter at all. Let's see, what else can I share with you? I think that's good for now. I will be coming back, but I want you to know that this energy is very powerful. And the equinox we're just beginning to see what it's going to bring to us. So this whole rebellion thing, I think it's not just for us or our twins. I think it's rebellion for humanity. I think this equinox is kicking off rebellion energy, and I think people are jumping on the bandwagon, and they need to because we can't stay stagnant anymore. It's time to rebel against the norms that we've lived under and the things we thought we were supposed to do. So I'm going to call this, I think, rebellion, this one here. But what I want to say about this weekend particularly, it's Happy Easter to those of you who celebrate, Happy Passover to those of you who celebrate, and I also want to say happy full moon because this is a very powerful moon. Enjoy the energies, and I do promise to come back again. I apologize again that it's been a delay, but my well-being has to come first. Otherwise, I can't help anybody else, and I know that now. All right, take care. Namaste, my beautiful beings of light. I send lots of love and light to all of you, and blessed union to you, and trust, trust, trust. And I ask you to really look inside of you and trust where you are on this journey and to recognize what the voice inside is saying to you, not what your head is saying, because that's very different. Listen to the inner voice that's quiet and subtle. The head stuff is going to be over and over and loud, and that's usually mirrored by some people coming into your life, the loud voices of negativity. So if anything feels negative or scary or uncomfortable, that's not light, and that's definitely not an honest message. So tune into your heart as much as you can because that is really necessary at this juncture. And it's really necessary not just for you, it's necessary for your twin. The more you go into your heart, the more they do. The more you go into your heart, the more their voice gets louder inside. And on the surface, I know we don't see it all the time. I know that we don't know it all the time. But I can tell you, my beloved has changed so much for the positive in so many ways that it brings tears to me, like right now. He has, even though it seems like it's forever, the truth is he's doing it. And I have to honor that with him because I don't lately. I've been frustrated. Like, come on, you need to do more. Not that I've said any of that to him in the physical, but I've said it etherically. Like I said it loud every day. I'm walking around, so I'm like, I love you, but you got to do something. This is not okay anymore. I really need more. And I don't want to say it to him because honestly, he's doing the best he can, and I can feel that. But I also know what I need for me, and I need to hold the focus on us, not just what I thought was supposed to happen, but what I really believe is supposed to be, that we are already one. And so if I can just hold on to him being my beloved and knowing inside of my every cell in my being, which I do, that he is the other half of me and that there is nothing that will stop us from coming together and just leave it there versus coming up with a fantasy of what it should look like, what I thought was going to happen, what I've been told by others that's going to happen. Rather than do that, I need to listen within. And so I encourage all of you to listen within and to drop ego as much as you can. And I know it's so funny and hard to say because a lot of you probably think, oh my God, I got rid of my ego. We do, but it's still there. You can't kill your ego, and it actually would be unbeneficial if you it'd be non-beneficial if you didn't have an ego because it's needed for being human. But you don't have to listen to that 24/7, and it's more important that you do listen to your heart at this time. All right. Namaste. So much love. Have a beautiful weekend.